Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our call. Today is week 3 of the Facebook training that we have restarted. I did talk a little bit with Jim Lupkin today, and his new program is actually starting May 1st. He said we'll be one of the first ones to find out about it, he promises. And so I'm excited about that because it's going to be bringing everything that we are doing, but on an online perspective of how basically you have to go through a couple little tests online, and as soon as you pass them, then you can go on to the next one. So it really kind of forces us, versus reading a chapter and moving on to the next chapter or doing a workbook and really kind of counting on ourselves to do it. You're doing an online journal, an online program, very similar to our Growth U program. And we all did so good with the Growth U. And I think part of that is the convenience of it being online. It's short, it's simple, 10, 15 minutes. So I think his new program that he's going to come up with is going to be very similar to something like that. And I want to give Anna Johnson a big applause because she just joined Healthy Mind and Body. Was it today or yesterday? Yesterday, right?
No, I did it
today, right? Yay! All right. Jody has a big smile on her face because she has gone through that program. You know what it does, right? Yeah, Jody, actually, if you would mind unmuting, and Teresa, I think you've gone through it. Tabitha, I believe you have as well. Daphne, did you go through the program? Yeah. So if anyone wants to just really quick, since we have a couple new people, let me explain really quick what Healthy Mind and Body is, and then just give us like a 30 to 45 second overview on what you liked about the program. But real quick, we have a personal development program. We have found that, of course, in network marketing, and Damon and Aaron, I know you both have done network marketing. Network marketing is tough. And it really messes with your psyche in different ways, and we have to keep ourselves balanced. And until we really learn how to accept all the different things that come to us, because people don't understand network marketing, as fabulous as it is, our world does not understand it. And so we knew that personal development was going to be a big thing to keep leaders on track and those up and coming leaders, but also people that are going through their journey, whether it's a weight loss journey or an athletic journey or whatever it is. There's different things that come about. So we brought in Rod Hairston and his Growth U program. All those statements that I have on my wall each day are from Growth U. And basically what Rod does is he takes us from not understanding our unhealthy habits, our unconscious healthy habits, to understanding what they are, to understanding how to change them and what you want changed, to just unconsciously doing it in a healthy way. And so he really transforms our minds, our bodies, our health. He keeps us focused on our health, our fitness, our exercise, our water, our gratitudes, and just being there and loving people. And it's really from that kind of standpoint. And every day you'll journal online through his program, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. You might watch a video and then journal. He asks extremely specific questions. And throughout the 60 days that you're a part of this program, you'll change those unhealthy habits. The biggest thing I got from it, and Jody, I'm excited to hear what you got from it, but mine is I used to be a thinker, and I would overthink everything. I would hear all kinds of conversations in my head, even if they weren't real. I now know how to stop those conversations, and within about 1 to 3 seconds, I have moved on to a different topic. Where when I had a little, we all have little bad times in our lives. Let's just say maybe 3 years ago, it was this constant stuff spinning and going through my head. And unfortunately, it would bother me for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. Maybe I would see like one little Facebook post or a picture of something in particular, and that would just devastate me for hours. And I'd lose all that time with my children. I remember specifically being outside, they're in the swimming pool, I'm supposed to be there with them, and all I could think about was that Facebook post or that picture. And so I now know how to just, well, usually I don't even encounter that conversation anymore, but if it does happen, I know how to turn it off and move on. So that was a pretty major thing for me. Jody, what have you gained from the program?
Well, a lot of it was just Well, one of the things I thought was really cool about the way he does the program is that it it all works into so many different aspects of our life. It's not just the network marketing, but it's just such a boost for being able to have the confidence in that area as well. But just it's great for your personal life, for your business life, for just about everything. And it's really I actually have his book. This one, Are You Up for the Challenge from Rod Harrison? And I'm only on page 33, and I just keep still going back and reading stuff. I can't seem to keep going in it because it's just like these new little revelations all the time. And I would really recommend getting this book. It's not expensive if you're doing Healthy Mind and Body, because it's like, a written version of everything that they say in the program. And I mean, you can highlight and just do whatever and then go back and read these things, because the daily journaling was great because that's not something I like to do. And so it kind of made me do something good for myself every day. And in doing that, you just really, just all of a sudden kind of grow, and you go through those different phases that he talks about in the Healthy Mind and Body, and you actually see it working. And at the end, you can actually print your journal. So that's cool too. I liked that.
It really is. Thank you, Jody. So Healthy Mind and Body is something that we offer to everyone, and we highly recommend everyone getting on the program, and especially in the beginning of their journey. And those that are going through weight loss, it's very important because it's going to help them. Like I shared my 17-second interruption with Diane, and she learned how to change her thoughts about eating something particular with 17 seconds. So those that are having bad cravings and not understanding our program, but really focused on changing their bad habits, have learned how to do all of that. So it's pretty amazing. It's $40. You get a $45 coupon back once you finish it, and you get to be with Rod. We'll do another team event, but go ahead and get it started. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. So I'm just going to read real quick again out of the 10X book by Grant Cardone before we start the Facebook, and let's talk about all of that. But let's start it off with just kind of at the beginning. He says, the following is the basic series of mistakes people make when setting out to achieve goals. We're now in the third week of the Facebook training, if you're involved with this. And this is kind of when you're either consistent, you're not consistent, and you're beating yourself up about it, or you haven't even started it. And it's like, oh, I've got to really take care of this. So let's kind of hear from Grant as to what he talks about when setting goals. Number one, mistargeting. By setting objectives that are too low and don't allow for enough correct motivation. Number two is severely underestimating what it will take in terms of actions, resources, money, and energy to accomplish the target. Number three, spending too much time competing and not enough time dominating their sector. That's a big one. Number four, underestimating the amount of adversity that we'll need to overcome in order to actually attain their desired goal. So kind of going to the back of this chapter, let's see. Any desirable target or goal will always suggest something you have yet to accomplish. It doesn't matter how much you've already attained. As long as you are alive, you will either live to accomplish your own goals and dreams or be used as a resource to accomplish somebody else's. For the sake of this book, success can also be defined as accomplishing the next level of what it is you desire, and in ways that you will forever change how you perceive yourself, your life, the use of your energy, and perhaps most significantly, how others perceive you. So I thought that was very appropriate, especially where we are right now, because we all have goals. We all have things that we want to achieve and dream, and that's why we're doing this Facebook training, is to accomplish those. But sometimes we kind of get inside our heads, or we misjudge, or we mistarget, or we don't focus enough on what we actually want to achieve instead of doing that. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk today. How and where are you guys with the Facebook training? So if each one of you can kind of speak up a little bit, and of course, as always, there's no judgment whatsoever. This group is all about supporting each other and motivating each other to do more, but accepting each other where we are at. So I stated in the beginning, this is not sticking to a specific plan. If you get behind, it's no big deal. It's a very independent program, but we want to do it together so that we can help each other go through it. So have you guys, first step was setting up your profile and going through your profile, just as Jim talked to you about. Who all has redone their profile? All right, fantastic. Okay, great. So I'm going to highly recommend you guys start there. That is his first step. And you just really want to visit your profile on Facebook, as go through his book. And Damon, we're going to get you his book, so don't worry. By you being on the call tonight, you've got it. Marcia, I need to get with you too so that you can get it. And Daphne, yours is on the way. And Raquel, of course, I have yours. So we've got a few of you that don't have the book yet. But he does talk about it in his first video. So week 1, you'll gain enough from the week 1 call to understand what he suggests for the profile. Also, if I haven't put you in Jim and Marion's I think it's social networking group, let me know. It's free, and they do talk about the profile and putting that in there. But basically, his purpose of that is when you either friend request someone or they friend request you, they're going to immediately, or hopefully, they immediately look at your profile to learn a little bit about you. People are only going to buy from people they like, trust, and respect. And if they look at your profile and they're like, great, okay, that's someone I'm really interested in working with. I like how they've done that. I like how they do this. They're going to keep going and friend request you. Also, your profile is how people are going to find you. So if they're doing a graph search on you, or they're doing some kind of search of some kind, maybe they're looking at people they went to high school with, or college, or people that worked for a specific area, or some kind of hobby or books or anything like that. That's one way they'll find you. This is also how you're going to find other people. And this is how the universe works. People are going to do 100% of what you don't do, and 50% of what you do. So if you don't set up your profile and then you go out there and you try to target people that you really should be in contact with, the universe isn't going to send you to people that have set up their profile. And honestly, that's not who you're really truly going to want to work with. So set up your profile. Do what you are supposed to be doing. Second is really to begin to increase your friends' requests. Who has gotten really consistent with friend requesting people? I don't care if you know them or you don't know them, but actually sitting there and friend requesting multiple people to grow your numbers. Who's gotten consistent with that? All right, excellent, Daphne and Anna. All right, and Erin, I can't really see you, so I know you've done quite a bit. Okay, great. Has it been easy for you guys to do that? Or has it been difficult or frustrating at all?
I've had a hard time being consistent with it, but
Okay.
but I know the more I read the books, I'm sure I'll get better at it. I know I do, so.
Yeah, and that's the key. Is you know you can do it. It is just making the time. And keep in mind, I really like how Jim states how we can add this to busy lives. Take 10 minutes, set your timer, and friend request as many people as you can during that time period. You're going to get really good at picking up who they are and finding out who you want to work with based on their picture, their number of friends, any mutual friends, and their profile, where you can look through them in about a minute. So you can hit about 10 people within about 10 minutes. But in the beginning, it might take you about 3 minutes per person. So maybe you need 15, 20 minutes, but set your timer. So you focus on it. Don't let the scroll happen. Focus on just friend request, friend request, friend request. And that's what you're looking at, guys. You're looking to see, do they have a large network? Now, if you're mutual friends with them, or if you graph search them, or you have a lot of common interests, that may not mean quite as much because you specifically search them out and receive their name for a different reason, especially if it's mutual friends. That can always build. And if you're going the health direction or the athletic direction or the weight loss direction, it doesn't matter how many friends they have. If you're going for business builders, it does matter. You also want to look at their posts. and see what type of posts are they making. You go to Raquel Miller's posts and you're going to recognize her as a motivational speaker, a motivating leader, someone who's very conscious about her health, someone who loves her family, someone who loves to have fun. Immediately. You go to Daphne's page and you're going to see that, again, very similar to Raquel, has a lot of posts about food, loves her family. She's very living her life out loud, but in a very positive way. And there's a lot of spiritual posts that go on between that. So you got to think about your board of director table that we talked about last week. And if you ran a large company and you could pick the VIPs to run your company with you, what qualities do they need? And if you guys want to do that exercise, that's part of your 90-day game plan, really figure out what type of people do you want. I can name mine off really fast. I want to be surrounded with highly motivated, independent, supportive, loyal, trusting, ethical, inspirational people. And if they don't fit in that category, they really truly don't fit in my business. And so when I look at their Facebook posts and I see things that don't fit that, I'm not friend requesting them unless there's another reason why I need to friend request them. You can be specific. How many billion of people are in this world? Go ahead and pick who you really truly want to work with, and you pick that accordingly. So that's, again, really why it's important for you guys to have your profile up there. And Jim goes into detail. You want to pick your favorite books, your favorite movies, all of your different type of businesses that you've been involved with. So when people search for you, they're going to be able to pick what they like about you. And it gives you conversations. So maybe you have a favorite book that someone else has, and you private message them. You're like, oh, I love that book. Is that a favorite author of yours? You're immediately going to have that connection with someone. And that's what gives people the opportunity to like, trust, and respect you. So put as much information on your profile as you can. It doesn't have to be extremely personal. It's just things that people are going to find in common, that they're going to find interesting about you, that they want to allow you into their lives. And that's what we're doing when we're friend requesting people. We're allowing people into our lives. Okay, very important. Right, so just set that timer and keep going. How is everyone else doing with friend requesting? And if you're not doing it, talk to us about why. And again, no judgments, just why. Why not? Jody, go ahead. I know you want to.
Who'd you say?
I said, Jody, I know you want to say something.
Yeah, I'm still having difficulty with that, partly because, like I said before, I've just always kept my Facebook really private. And like, I have friend requested several people and been accepted, that kind of thing. But I'm having trouble finding the time to chat with everybody.
Okay.
Because I'm actually having difficulty finding the time to even put my posts up at this point. Because work has been crazy, 9-hour days, trying to go to the gym, and then everything else. You know how that is. But I just have to be more consistent with it. But just a little thing that happened the other day, this girl in Kansas City had come up to me because of the isogenics on my van and was like, oh, I've been wanting to find somebody local, whatever. So we friend requested and everything when chatting with her. Well, some of her people have now friend requested me, and I accepted them. But what I did before I accepted them, I went in to look at their profile and everything, and they're just kind of their wall. And their wall was apparently kind of private the way it's set up until I accepted the friend request, because now I have a couple of huge drama queens on my Facebook and it's nuts. And it's like, I can't just unfriend these people now. So I'm not really sure what to do with them.
You can actually hide their posts. So you don't have to block them, but you can hide it so that you don't have to see them and they can't post on your wall.
Okay. Yeah, because it's entertaining.
You don't have time for entertaining.
Not
you have goals that you need to make. You have 13 months, Jody. So
that's not stuff I can reply to.
Right. Would you guys kind of like to talk about the schedule? Is anyone else running into difficulties coming up with your schedule, how to fit all of this in?
Mm-hmm.
Anyone raise your hand and you'll get it.
Yes.
Okay. So, one thing that you can really do to help yourself figure out your schedule is to physically sit down and write on a piece of paper everything in a typical day from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. What happens on a regular basis, and write it in during those times. And it's only for you, so be as real and raw as possible. Write down everything if you want: your shower, dinner, playtime with the kids, books with the kids, nap time, whatever it may be. Write it down. And if you have specific TV shows that you watch, write it down. Write down everything. Look and see where your free time usually is. And even if it is a good 15 to 30 minutes, that's a big chunk of time that you can put to use with something. Now, when you're driving or anything like that, a great way to really kind of involve yourself in this business is to listen to podcasts. So if anyone drives for, 15 to 30 minutes or more every day, just plug in one of our podcasts on isagenixpodcast.com and listen to that whenever you have a few minutes. But obviously we don't want you Facebooking while you're driving, but you can listen. So wherever you find 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes, it just needs to be extremely focused. Or if you look at your schedule and you see things that maybe you can give up and that you really don't need to be spending time watching that TV show or doing this or doing that, or maybe you're spending an hour on Facebook, but you're not doing it correctly, but that's your Facebook time. Write that down. Then get very specific on when you actually spend your time friend requesting people, when you spend the time private messaging them, when you spend the time reaching out and talking to people about samples, when you spend the time doing your posts. So I do well with habits, and I am very scheduled. And if you guys ever watch my posts, they're pretty scheduled. So how they happen, I immediately go on Facebook and I check all my notifications and I respond where I need to. Then I check my emails. Then I go back to Game Changers Healthy Living and I look and see what's there to see what else I need to respond to. Same thing with business and same thing with my personal wall. That's bam, 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 bam. And then I add whatever needs to be added for that day. Then I'll take a good 10 minutes and I'll friend request people. Now, most of them aren't going to friend request me right away. And I've noticed, especially in the morning time, I don't get a lot of messages going back and forth. But I private message them and I say hello. They sporadically private message somewhere throughout the day, which helps me to either respond to them at that time or at night, like in your case, Jody, when you come home from work and you have that time, then you can message them back and hit every single one of them. Now, out of 10 people, if you don't know them, if they're not friends and they're strangers or mutual friends, you may only get probably half of the people to accept your friendship and half of them are actually sending you a message. Okay, so don't feel overwhelmed that if I friend request 10 people are going to start a conversation with me. You're going to have probably 1 to maybe 3 that actually have a conversation with you. People are busy, so they're fitting it into their schedule as well. And you want to find busy people. Truly, you don't want to find people that aren't busy because they're going to suck a lot of time, first of all, but they're not out there networking. They're not out there building theirs. They don't really have a lot of desires and dreams to accomplish a lot of things in life. So you look for busy people for multiple reasons. Does that help you guys with your schedule?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. Play with it a little bit. Let's see. The other thing is, what else have we talked about last week? We talked about growing your numbers. What about posting? How are you guys doing with your posts and getting consistent with living your life out loud and doing different types of posts? I'm going to give Aaron some really big kudos. Aaron is really putting himself out there in fun ways. You're doing it exactly like Jim tells you to do. And I think that's just you anyways. But I love it because if you saw, one of his posts in Game Changers was he was cleansing and he was holding his twins up on his arms like nothing's going to stop me even on cleanse days. You're living it in a way where you're talking about your health and your fitness, but you're not throwing it at people. You're not trying to sell them. You're allowing them into your life to show that, hey, I'm doing something really cool. I like it, but it's just me. It's just me. You're not going to be that salesy type of guy, which is fantastic. How are the rest of you doing with that? Is anyone struggling, or are you guys having a good time kind of upping the amount of posts that you do, the type of posts that you do, and being more intentional? Anyone? Raquel's business, I'm going to pick on Raquel for a minute. Raquel's business really took off. I'm going to say, probably about a year and a half ago, Raquel. And it was when you really started putting the effort into your Facebook post. You got extremely intentional. You got intentional about your hashtags. You were intentional about your personal wall, showing your life, your business page, and really focused on allowing people to see you, but also see what you have to offer, and before and after pictures and the business. And Raquel really brought out her leadership. Probably more than anything, your leadership stands out. And it's beautiful to watch your posts. I watch them all the time. and that's when your business really took off from what I've been able to see. Would you agree?
I agree. I think you have to get intentional and make that effort, kind of say, okay, it's time for me to actually just step out that comfort zone and just live out loud. And that's pretty much what I just do now, is just live out loud. I just put it all out there and, not be afraid of what anyone else thinks or care about that, but kind of have a purpose. I think it's important, though, to make a decision on what you want to get across on social media. Like really sit back and decide, what is my brand? Who am I? What am I trying to put out there? Like, do I want to come across as someone who's healthy and like it's a motivational, or whatever it is for you? What is it that you want people to see or want people to get from you in general? And once you can answer that question and kind of decide what your brand is, then just focus on when you post. And that's the other thing, when you post, making sure that post gives value to people while showing who you are as a person, you know what I mean, or what you want to accomplish. And so that's kind of what I do. I mean, yes, you have to incorporate the fun in your real life, and it's not all about just being healthy, or you got to put you out there and real life out there. You having fun, and you're not always drinking a shake, but I think that's important. I think it's important to really know your brand. And once you answer questions for yourself as to what you want to accomplish, I think that makes a big difference. And, and even find things like, for me, it's easy just to say, okay, Motivational Monday, Transformation Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Thankful Thursday, Freedom Friday. Like, for me, those kind of help guide how I do a day, in knowing, okay, today is Tuesday? Okay, what can I do as far as transformation? You know what I mean? Or putting out things. For me, it's about being healthy. So I like doing recipes. So, I'm like, okay, two times a week, I'm going to add some recipes or whatever. You know what I mean? So you just have to kind of get a guide for yourself, and that makes it much simpler, not having to worry about what I need to post. And then every so often you throw in the power post.
So that's brilliant, Raquel, because we do have a lot of newer people that aren't used to Facebook or knowing what to put on Facebook. I think the more you experiment and the more you put out there, you're going to learn your brand. But some of you may not know your brand yet. You may not know exactly what you want the world to think of you and who you are even. So what Raquel said was brilliant. Let's revisit that a little bit. If you don't know what to post, or you're not ready to kind of come out loud yet, that's okay. There's certain things you can do, like Motivational Monday is just Google motivational quotes or statements or motivational brochures or flyers, and grab something that speaks to you. And if you can put some kind of statement with it, and then just copy that and put that on there. Even if you don't have a statement to go with it that day, as Jim would say, comment if you have something to say. If you don't have anything to say, then just put that out there. Transformation Tuesday That's actually a really super one, but probably one of our most important, powerful things. Show someone's transformation. And one thing that I heard tonight on the leader call, they are going to be doing this sweepstakes. I'm not sure when it's starting, but it's going until June. And they're going to ask everyone to post their personal story on how they helped to enroll someone. So a little bit different than Transformational Tuesday, but I got reminded of it and I didn't want to forget. But it's going to be really exciting because you're going to hear from all kinds of people, brand new people to people that have been in the network marketing industry forever, on their story on how they actually enrolled someone and how they found them. So Jody, I know you're going to love that. But Transformation Tuesday, you can go to any of our Facebook groups. Of course, we have it in our product pages. We have it in ISA testimonials, ISA body. If you look at any of those, you're going to have people's pictures and their stories. People will only post their pictures and stories if they're willing to share them. Some will say, go ahead and share. If they don't want it shared, they will state it because they know there's thousands of people that are grabbing their stories and pictures and posting it. And if you ever don't know and you want to ask them, then just ask them, can I share your story? And 90% of the time, they're going to say yes, or even more than that. So Transformation Tuesday, extremely powerful. That's what your friends are going to pay attention to. Anna, you blew up when you did your before and after picture of your face. That was just huge for you. People want social proof. So whether or not it's your story or somebody else's story, they just want to see that. Wednesday, what's Wednesday? I always say Wealth Wednesday. What's Wednesday?
Wellness. I do Wellness Wednesday.
Wellness. So either wealth or wellness, whatever direction you want to go. So again, Google something, right? So Raquel does recipes. Daphne, you do a ton of recipes. Just find, and Tabitha does recipes. You guys love recipes. I love it. Find a favorite a website that you absolutely love, or pick a couple of them and grab their recipes and show the picture. Thankful Thursday is a great one. If you can do so many different things like that, you can make that personal. I'm thankful for today because, or you want to recognize someone. I'm thankful for this person. Or what else do you do, Raquel, for Thankful Thursday?
It's usually things like that, or even a quote about just being thankful, or like you can post your dog and go, whatever it is. I mean, thankful, or your family member, or whatever you're thankful for that day. Because I try and do gratitudes every day. So if you're doing your gratitudes every day, you probably have a list of things that you can pick from to be thankful for.
Right. Awesome. And doing your gratitudes is huge. I know most of you do gratitude, and if you haven't really started that yet, just try, whether it's immediately in the morning or sometime during the day, just really begin to make a mental list or even a written list of all the different things that you're grateful for. And Annie Medina's not on tonight, but Annie's my favorite example of her gratitude. I mean, that girl is grateful that she woke up in the morning. She's grateful for the blue sky. She's grateful for the tree that's blowing in the wind. And she just goes every direction she can. And she is pretty much one of the most positive people I have ever met, and so loving. And I think so much of that has to do with her gratitudes. And she's just grateful rather than searching for where she wants to go next, or thinking about all of her goals and what she wants out of life. She turns it around as to what she's grateful for. So if you haven't done that yet, try that this week and really focus on that. And anything and everything. I'm grateful that this pen works so that I don't have to stand up and get another one. Or I'm grateful that it works so I don't have to go to the store and buy another one. You can really find gratitude in everything. And Healthy Mind and Body will help you with that too. Friday. We used to do Flex Friday. Oh, we got less than a minute. So we'll type it up. But you guys get an idea. And if you don't know what to post, you're doing this so that people get to know you, so they pay attention to your posts and they begin to love, trust, and respect you. People will contact you when they have a life-changing moment and they know exactly who to go to, and they like, trust, and respect you. So guys, we're going to run out of time today. I hope you guys found this interesting and some information for you to work with. Continue to watch Jim's videos. Michael just posted week 3. So take this week to watch week 3, continue reading a couple more chapters in the book, do the next workbook, and post, friend request, like, comment different people's, and post. And you guys are doing awesome. I'm really proud of every single one of you. You're stepping out of your comfort zone, and you guys are growing each and every day. So I want to wish you guys all a great night. Everyone have a great night. Continue to talk to us. Let us know how it goes.